Hello everyone, welcome to another Geek and Dorks review. Today we are talking about the film Who Took Johnny? This is a documentary that came out in 2014 and it is about the Johnny Gosch case. This one caught my eye because I've had a lot of people request Johnny Gosch as a potential searchlight topic. In terms of some trivia, Johnny Gosch was the first of two boys at the same time to be put on a milk carton, and if you grew up in the 80s at all, you knew that that was a trend that quickly exploded, and we were seeing that everywhere. There are several other things that changed in this world because of what happened to Johnny, and it was a bit of a change in our culture in terms of, you know, parents trusting their kids to walk to school on their own and some other things like that. So definitely shifted us much closer to where we are now in terms of being a bit more aware of child safety. But let's check out the synopsis from imdb.com. Who Took Johnny explores an infamous 30-year-old cold case, the disappearance of Iowa paperboy Johnny Gosch, the first missing child to appear on a milk carton. The film focuses on Johnny's mother, Noreen, and her tireless quest for the truth. Along the way, there have been mysterious sightings, strange clues, bizarre revelations, and a run-in with a person who claims to have helped abduct Johnny. I literally just got finished watching this, and I think the timing of it couldn't be any more perfect, especially with all the work that I've done around Searchlight and talking to family members that are being left behind by these people that go missing, and just some of the frustration that they encounter, some of the things that they face. This film kind of perfectly encapsulates all that. And what's amazing about Noreen is she is still out there. You know, her son has been missing over 30 years now, but she's still out there helping other people. And last week in one of my videos, I talked a little bit about how I don't know where this energy comes from, where this drive and undying hope really comes from that some of these people have, but Noreen is a very, very good example of that. It's a bit inspirational. You look at it and you wish that, you know, that person doesn't have to go through those things, but the steps that they take and the things that they do as a result of going through those things can be kind of amazing in their own way. So this film definitely highlights that. Outside of that, I didn't know much about this story, and the twists and turns that happen in this case they're ridiculous in one way, amazing in others. You will be frustrated to no end. You'll be inspired in certain ways. Basically, Johnny's family is part of what started the National Association for Missing and Exploited Children, along with John Walsh, who we've also covered in the Adam Walsh video that I did a while back. And John Walsh, of course, went on to do America's Most Wanted and all that great stuff. He appears in this quite a bit. It was kind of neat to see his take on some of this case, and to see how America's Most Wanted really tried to dive into this case and shake some information out, and hear from their producer about, you know, the fact that this case still weighs on him, this case still haunts him in some way. I don't want to give it away. I really highly recommend that you watch this, because there are some significant twists at the end that I just did not anticipate, didn't see coming. I looked around online. I couldn't find it to watch for free. I didn't look very hard. I'll admit that. But I did find it for rent on YouTube, and I think I've talked about this in a video before, but the YouTube rental system is super easy. It works very, very cool. It's very slick. You literally pop in your credit card information once, it gets stored with your YouTube account, and anytime you want to do it again, you're literally just clicking one button, and all of a sudden you're watching the content. And of course it's in this great YouTube player that we know works very consistently, which I definitely appreciate, because sometimes I go looking at videos on other sites and the players crash, or it crashes my web browser, or the video playback isn't perfect, or it stammers, or it looks really bad. So definitely I would recommend, if you are going to rent it, check out YouTube's version of it. It was one of the cheaper price points also. You can rent it at other places which are a bit more expensive. And if you're, I think this film is really for anybody, but in particular if you're a parent, if you're concerned about something like this happening, check out this movie now while you can really take it in and kind of focus on it, and maybe it will help you avoid being in a situation like this. There's a lot of great lessons in this film. As a matter of fact, if you're already in one of these cases, or if you're a friend of someone that's missing, I also highly recommend you check this out, because it's going to give you a lot of insight into what those families go through, what they're facing, the types of frustrations that they're bound to be coping with, and maybe for you being a friend of theirs, this might tip you off as to how you could help them process this better or easier, or really find some way to contribute to their effort. So excellent movie. I highly recommend it. I think it's rated a 8.2 on IMDb. I would say I'd give it an 8.5. It's also on the IMDb list of most interesting mysteries. I think it's ranked at number 11, and it definitely deserves it. This is a very well done film. A bunch of news footage. It's definitely going to take you for a little trip back to the 80s in terms of seeing styles and hairstyles and clothing and all that. But the crew did a great job on the production of this. The recreations are done in kind of an interesting way, using some graphic tricks that I really kind of liked. I thought that it was appropriate and kind of helped draw the picture of what could have potentially happened to Johnny that morning that he went missing. But it's just the details of this case. They're very intriguing. And quite honestly, I don't know if I'll cover this case on Brain Scratch, because this film is so good. You really need to check this film out and take it in this kind of longer format where you can take in a lot of this information. And there's definitely some head shaking. Let me just give you a warning right now. For those of you that might think that it's hard to get the police to do the right thing, admittedly, this case is very early on in terms of these types of things being recognized. And there's been some laws that have come as a result of this case that will hopefully change these things and make them better for our future. But yeah, I was definitely shaking my head at the screen with some of the comments coming out of the law enforcement, and some of their choices to look into things or not look into certain things just really boggled my mind. But I can't recommend it highly enough. Seriously, one of the best documentaries I've seen of this type, and it just has such a great balance between the information that's being presented, the amount of heart that this woman is showing, and the repercussions and how you move forward from that and try to understand that disappearance in some way. That's probably the strongest thing in this film, is his mother's comment at the end, which I'm definitely not going to spoil for you guys, but there are very big grains of wisdom to be gained by watching this. So I hope you'll all check it out. If you're a fan of Searchlight, I can't imagine it would go wrong. I'm pretty sure you will absolutely, I don't know that enjoy is the right word, you will appreciate this film a lot for what it is. And if you're also a fan of Brain Scratch, just in terms of strong mysteries, doesn't get much stronger than this one. It just it's a really, really tough case, and it's not hard to believe that it hasn't been solved with how little evidence there was to go off of, but you'll be surprised at what they find along the way. So thank you so much for joining me on Geek and Dorks Reviews. As usual, I hope you are all having a great week. I will catch you on the next show on the Geek and Dorks channel. Take care.